Last night, President Trump and the First Lady were sitting down to dinner with China's leader and his wife. The president walked outside and announced the Tomahawk missile launch. He'd only told China's leader a couple of minutes beforehand. Is that setting off some kind of tension between America and China? An incident of some sort, do you think?
No, I do not think so at all. I was there at the dinner. I was present when the president had the discussion with President Xi. It was a very good conversation. I think the president explained his position very well. President Xi understood what was going on. I think the president has made it clear what the United States will tolerate and what the United States won't tolerate.
The 98,000 new jobs created last month is a sign of weakness. Does that encourage the president to press even harder for tax cuts and deregulation? And do you think we can keep to that timetable, tax cuts by the August recess?
The president is pushing extremely hard on tax cuts and everything we can do to generate economic growth in the United States. The president completely understands how stimulative deregulation and tax cuts will be for the U.S. economy. He understands that, and he's pushing us all very hard to get that done as soon as we possibly can.
Will we meet that timetable, sir?
What was that?
Will we meet the timetable?
Will we meet the timetable?
Before August, get a tax reform bill out there, before the August recess.
We will meet a timetable. You know, most important thing is that we get tax reform done, and we get it done this year. We're working as hard as we can to get tax reform done. It's a #1 priority of mine. The president asks me about it every day. He asks me about it more than every day. He asks me about it every time he sees me, how we are doing on tax reform. It is his #1 domestic priority right now.
Forgive me for asking, but what do you say to the president when he asks you every time you see him, what about those tax cuts? What do you say?
Well, I tell him exactly what's going on. I'm very transparent with him. I tell him where the discussions are, who we're meeting with, what the issues are, what the opportunities are, what the decisions are that we're making, and he's actively involved in all of the decisions.
It's a tougher job than running Goldman Sachs, isn't it?
It is. It is.
I thought so. A quick question, if I may. A couple of days ago, you made a comment about breaking up the big banks. I know there's a lot of technicalities involved in this, but do you want to go to some new form of Glass-Steagall?
So let's clarify exactly what happened. I was in a bipartisan Senate Banking Committee. One of the members of the committee read me part of President Trump's campaign speech that talked about a modern 21st century Glass-Steagall, and I commented that I was in agreement with the president that a modern 21st century Glass-Steagall made sense to me. Remember, part of getting the U.S. economy growing again is getting banks lending to small and medium-sized businesses. When we have this one-size-fits-all bank regulation, and it's got to encompass everything, I think it's very hard to regulate banks appropriately. So if we can figure out how to compartmentalize some of the bank regulation, I think that we can stimulate the economy. So my answer was a response to the question from one of the senators in the room.
Every single word you say makes headlines, Gary Cohn. And thank you very much for saying a lot this morning on Barney Company. Much obliged, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you.